Been used to seeing teams that are winning things with superstars, the Cristiano Ronaldos and the Messis of this world that have been dominating, winning things over the last 10 or so years, a decade. We've seen a team there that's it. They're a team.
Yeah.
A superstar's emerging in this tournament, a 16-year-old we're going to talk about later, but this is a real team. This is a team that are so cohesive. They're such a tight unit with and without the ball. The way they retrieve the ball when they lose it, they don't allow for transitions too often, and the way that they gather back, get into a good shape, and then they can still spring on you again. But the control that those three in midfield, Rodri, Ruiz and Yamal, had in this game was something. They had a stranglehold on this France team.
I think the numbers sum that up. 9 different goal scorers, 13 goals. They're brilliant at defending. They're brilliant at attacking, sticking together. They've got everything you need to be successful, and that's the reason why they've won every single game in this tournament, 6 games, and that's why.
There's one concern, I'm just being told. We've seen images of Morata. If you look at the bottom right of your screen, the photographer, we believe, comes in, slips in, and looks like he's twisted his knee. I mean, that would be the most dreadful look. Obviously, he was off the field of play. He came off, but he looks like... let's hope that's not serious. No one would wish that on anyone. But that aside, let's look at the start of the game. Obviously, France took an early lead through Kolo Muani. Let's have a look at that goal, remind ourselves of it. And you thought at that stage we'll experience win over this youngish Spanish team.
Lovely little facial here, set the tone from Spanish defenders. Nacho, the experienced man. But France started the game really bright. They allowed Dembele to come inside, which I'm sure they won't be happy about. It gets the ball wide to Kylian Mbappe, who delivers a wonderful ball. But this is the one bit of quality. We were talking here. The only bit of quality in the final third that France showed today was this once. And that's not enough in a game of this magnitude. You need to probe, you need to ask questions of the opposing team. And I don't think they've done that enough today. But Kylian Mbappe, we know he can do this. I think he'll be disappointed with his tournament in terms of goals, in terms of impact. That's not what you come to expect of Mbappe.
He's not been himself, has he? Hasn't. Probably with a nose.
You said the only bit in the game. That's the only bit in the tournament.
Yeah.
We kept on saying that. We're waiting for them to click. Once that happened today for the very first time, where there was a good ball in and someone was actually on the end of it, we're thinking, here we go. They might go on and get a couple more.
The only goal they've scored in the tournament from open play.
I just want to ask before we move on, the overall picture with France now. You mentioned Deschamps and what it means for him. But in terms of, we've never questioned France before because they've got over the line.
Yeah.
But they're playing horribly in this tournament, and today it wasn't good enough. So where do they go from here? They need a structure, they need a balance,
It will be interesting to see if Deschamps sticks at the job. I suspect he's had so much success that the decision might rest with him.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Zidane seems to me might be waiting in the wings.
Waiting in the wings.
I mean.
Could be Zinedine Zidane. We'll have to wait and see on that one. The moment of the match, possibly the moment of the tournament.
Yamal!
Wow.
Wow! I mean, 16 years of age, and Rabiot was talking before the game. Could he step up in the big moments? And it's the way he's so calm in this position to dig it out. We know he's got a wonderful left foot, but to do it with so many players around him as well and have that composure and that confidence to take it on, it shows you what a special player.
I think the way it's so impressive, the way he actually moves Rabiot to the right for him then to come back in on his left, which opens it up for him. And you can just see him wanting to guide it into the corner. It's just a magnificent finish.
If you haven't seen that message that Rabiot sent before the game, I hope Rabiot, with respect, has gone up to him after the game and says, thank you for the lesson you taught me today in that one moment.
And I think he would have turned and gone, checkmate. Let's have a look at his overall performance, because it wasn't just the goal. It's the little touches, the little things.
Yeah, it's the calmness with which he plays. He plays with someone who's just been playing here for a long time. He makes quick decisions and he just picks the right pass at the right moment. Ruiz should score there. Alan spoke about how clean his passing is. It's crisp. Again, he moves him there. It's a wonderful finish, and we'll talk about that for years to come. But the simplicity with which he plays is so difficult to do. We know what it's like when you're a young player that comes into any team, let alone a national team. You're thinking about proving to people why you're there. So you overdo it. 9 times out of 10, young players, you see him at some point in the game where, he's overcooked it there. He's overpassed. He tried to do too much with that. But we've not said that once about this kid, because invariably he makes the right decision 9.5 times out of 10 at 16.
It's just unfathomable, really, isn't it?
And where he plays, he's obviously given the freedom to go inside and do his stuff inside as well. He's not sticking to that right and then always trying to cut it on his leg. He's actually got the freedom to go in the middle of the park. And when he gets in the middle of the park, his passing is that good. I mentioned it at half-time about the pace that he actually puts on his passing that makes it easier for his teammates to handle.
We've got absolutely everything on it. We had stats about how good his dribbling stats were before. I think he was top 4 in the whole tournament. But all these bits we're showing is the little extras, what makes him so special.
And the question is, how do you stop him? How do you stop that? That's the conundrum now for the
Just
opponents.
give him more homework.
Yeah, but he
is actually doing it at this tournament.
You say though, you go close and get tight. He can jink.
Yeah.
If you stand off him, he can pass. It's that normally a winger, he's really quick and he's going to run you, but he doesn't have the knowledge to pass, but he can.
The important thing with all young players, perhaps with this amount of ability, is possibly staying grounded. And if you've got good professionals around him, he should be okay. And he looks like he's just thirsty for more.
You would hope so. I mean, the demands and the pressures that are going to be put on him are going to be huge.
Let's hope they learn a little bit from
ability.
Pedri as well, what happened with Pedri and the injuries he's had, and just don't overplay him.
Whenever you see pictures of him, his dad's there. Yeah. His dad is there constantly, so hopefully that's a really good support network he has.
Hopefully. Speaking of injuries, let's get more images of Morata. There we go again. You can see him running in there. Next slips, catches him.
Sure, it's a cameraman.
Looks like a security guard.
This is the aftermath. I'm not sure it looks too bad. I think, hopefully that's not too bad. There's no physios around him. We can see, but he's still struggling. Well,
can you imagine if he doesn't get to play for the final?
He's limping quite heavily, and he looks upset. God, dear. I mean, imagine that just before a final, if something like that happened.
Wow.
Horrendously bad luck. The Olmo goal was...
Yeah, it was very tasty. Losing Pedri was obviously big for this side, but it's how he reacts when he gets into the team. He's obviously a very good player. Seen him play a lot, especially Leipzig. And it's just his movement. And then it's the touch. 1, 2, and then can you finish? Absolutely. I mean, we've got strikers in the studio. Talk us through the finishing.
Brilliant. I mean, the balance is unbelievable. As you know that, you've got like a split second to think how I'm going to do that. Then the first touch, and then the second touch, and then to set himself up for the shot.
Not sure either Alan or myself had those skills.
No,
Micah. He's joint leading goal scorer in the tournament, but he's ahead on the Golden Boot through assists as it stands. 5 players on 3. Surely someone will get more than 3 in the tournament.
It just shows you the depth of this Spain team, because he wouldn't be playing if Pedri's fit, no doubt. He'd be sub, he'd be an impact player. But the way that he can come in, he's different. Obviously, Pedri's a creator, but he's someone who wants to impact with goals, etc. at the top end of the pitch.
Yeah. France's forward play, you talked about it before the game. It was lacking in many ways, wasn't it, Alan?
So much. I mean, they had the advantage of scoring that goal, and I'm thinking, OK, that might just give them the confidence to go on and do what we thought that they might do in front of goal. But so many times, again, you're getting into good positions. I mean, Dembele today was probably more guilty than anyone in getting into good positions. But so frustrating when you get in there that you're delivering time after time balls like that, which is not a good ball, and nothing happens again. And I think that when you're in that position, you have to be expected to do better than what he's done there. Yes, that's a really, really good touch, but same thing again. Look, you've got guys in there, and he hits it straight at the goalkeeper. I was getting frustrated and angry in here myself, so you can imagine how they're feeling out on the pitch.
The mad thing is, you spoke about this before. I'm talking about there weren't players in the box. Look, it's a good run from Kylian there. But we were talking about there weren't bodies in the box. They weren't committing bodies into that. But here, every clip, there's 2, 3, 4 players in there waiting.
Yeah, but you look at Dembele here. Look where he is. He's on the edge of the 18-yard box. Look, we said he has to get in there.
Yep.
I mean, that if he gets in there and a better ball in, he's got to tap in. But there was just a complete lack of energy and quality from him tonight.
Yep. France are out. Micah, they're going to take some beating in the final. This Spanish team, 6 straight wins. Can they make it 7?
Yes, I think they can. I think the worries I had about the Spanish team, they answered them questions tonight in terms of defensively. Don't forget they was missing Carvajal. Pedri as well has been out about the side. But just how they can adapt to situations. And when you've got pace on the wings and you can get up the field, it always gives you a chance. Rodri and Ruiz in midfield, like Rio said earlier, really good balance to the team. So, yeah, I think they're going to be favourites now.
And they've come through the tough side of the draw. You know, they beat Germany and now France.
You said they've won all the games. They've looked really comfortable. They've had to do the other side of the game as well. And what they do really well is they move the ball so quickly, which is miles better than anyone else that we've seen in this tournament.
Can England join them in the final?
Yep.
Don't ask me.
I'm emotional. I'm the emotional fan. I'm always the emotional fan. Yes, England can do it.
Can you tip Netherlands?
Yeah, they can. They're going to have to step up again, but yes, they can.
Yeah, I think they can. We'll see. We'll find out tomorrow. Let's hope so. Micah, thank you very much. Rio too. Alan, thank you. Entonces, España pasa al final con un golazo inolvidable de lamine Yamal. Recuerda su nombre. Adiós.
Him all tournament and saying what a ridiculously young age it is, 16, to come and perform at this level under this scrutiny, and then to do that. I mean, it's just outrageous. I mean, it's that late, he shouldn't even be up at night, never mind playing in the semi-final of the European Championships. It's incredible.
It was just strange tactically, wasn't it, with Spain? You're thinking, OK, they're up against France. Are they going to alter their tactics? They didn't do that. They defended deep when they had to. They pressed when they needed to. The runs from the wingers, Yamal going inside and Williams going inside on the other side as well. Olmo finding space in that pocket in the middle. And then Morata stretching. Everything about this team is just balance.
I think
and they all know the jobs.
And I think we've been asking the question: Have Spain got the resilience? If they come up against a hardened team like this France team, have they got the resilience? If a team scores against them like that, can they come back? They've shown today with this young kid, especially doing unprecedented stuff at this age, is ridiculous.
Aged 16 and 362 days. He's the youngest scorer at Euros or World Cup. Pele is the only player to have scored in a World Cup, and that was before the age of 18, and he was close on 18. Mind you, he did score 2 in the final. He wasn't a bad player, but we'll come to his goal shortly. But first, let's start with the French goal. Kolo Muani. They started well. It looked like Mbappe had a little bit of joy down the left-hand side.
Well, we said beforehand, didn't he? He had this just a few seconds earlier, didn't he? Where it was Nacho and smashing his head into the ground there. There's no doubt about that. That was deliberate. And we said that they need to click into gear, the forwards, and they did that. I mean, Mbappe had definitely looked a little bit sharper. We said that, and he's given too much space. And that's a wonderful ball in and a great header. It really is. I mean, Navas is 2 or 3 yards too deep, which then he's playing Mbappe on. The ball comes across to him. He can see right across the line, and he gets it. And once he's got 1v1 there, and the space in between is just too big, and you can see the movement of Moana. He knows that he should get tighter. But because of the new handball law, just watch where his hands are. It's really difficult for defenders now. And you stand off like that. It's a good ball in and a wonderful header.
We always talk about fullbacks, and I played in that position so many times. And it was his body shape. It was his body shape earlier on in as the game was going on. He sort of waited too long to open up his body.
Do you think that's because he's not a natural fullback?
Because he's naturally a winger, yes. Yeah. But the way he should have done it, he should have opened his body earlier, seen where Mbappe was, and then he could have dictated to where he wanted to go. In the end, he dropped off too deep because he was scared of the pace of Mbappe. Like Alan said, he didn't engage as well. Obviously, he had to put his hand behind his back because of the laws, but he got it all wrong.
Can we not see that again just one more time? Just because I think Mbappe's movement was phenomenal. It was simple, but the actual movement to make sure Navas drops off, it's opposite movement you talk about a lot, Gary. Where
you've got them on their toes, but they're delivering here.
He went to go back. There we go. Let it develop here, and Dembele comes inside, goes inside again. A bit of time on the ball. When a player's got time on the ball, you have to drop, right? But you didn't even see it on that one. It's the next clip in a second. It's the one after, sorry. But it's a
great ball.
It's a great ball. This is it. Watch Mbappe against Navas. He has to drop for one reason. Watch Mbappe's movement before the ball comes from Dembele. Here you go. Watch Mbappe's movement. Goes to go in, comes short now. Navas has to drop. There's nowhere. Oh, he risks playing offside.
Playing him offside, yeah.
Yeah, so it's difficult for a defender in that situation when you do that, and you're playing against a player of that caliber.
Not like ball in the way.
Oh, beautiful. Caressed it in. Great header.
Yeah.
It certainly was. Anyone want to see the Lamine Yamal goal?
Well, they talk him up before the game. I mean, he's just an outstanding young talent. And could he live up to the expectation? Yes, he could. There was talks about Rabiot and him before having a disagreement. And what I tried to highlight before the game, he's not just somebody who can dribble.
Wow.
He can come inside and produce moments of brilliance like this. The technique, the bend, the curve, the pace of the ball, everything was just perfection against a top keeper in Mignon as well.
The way he moves Rabiot to say, get out of the way, I actually want to go onto my left foot. So his body movement to go one side to move Rabiot, which then allows him to the space to open up. But then there's so much still to do when he opens it up, and he just.
I think that's a fair play from Mbappe. I think
when you hear someone talk about you before a game like that,
let me read that out, because we didn't do it before the game, because Adrien Rabiot spoke about Lamine Yamal in the build-up to this game, and he said, and I've got it written down here, it's down to us to put the pressure on him, to not let him be comfortable, and to show him that in order to play the final of a Euro, he'll need to show much more than he has until now. I suggest he has.
He's done that.
Yamal did respond sort of cryptically when he said, move in silence and only speak when it's time to say checkmate.
Gary.
Well, checkmate, mate.
Gary, you know what? It's almost like he saw him and his eyes lit up. Right, I'm going to show you. Get out of my way. Bang, like Alan said.
Yeah.
Wonderful finish from a kid so young.
We saw a bit of magic from Olmo as well. The touch, the turn.
This kid, I mean, Pedri's been injured, and that's a disappointment for Spain. But when he came on the pitch, I was like, you know what? I actually like the way that this kid plays, and he's affecting games now as much as anybody in a Spain shirt. You see the ball come when it comes to him. Again, movement to get free a little bit. Gets the yard. The two touches there are absolutely exquisite.
I'm glad he's been given the goal. I don't know why they try and take away goals from players on that thing.
I agree.
But they've seen sense.
But to get into that little number 10 spot in between the two defensive midfield, again, gets it. The midfielder comes out, leaves him for dead.
The touch is just one beautiful. It is. Which then sets the space for him to have his pop-it goal, and it was the correct decision to give it to him.
But Spain's answer to France putting them under a bit of pressure has been super impressive, though. We've seen how they can play football, very good football team, but the ability to respond like this in a semi-final has been huge.
And they did the same against Germany, obviously, in the quarter-final, and they were under pressure in that game. Let's look more in depth at Yamal. It's not just the goal, is it? There's so many facets to his game.
It's football intelligence.
Next superstar, I think.
For his age. I think that's what we like about him. Getting into these positions here and then being able to pick out these balls for Ruiz. He had 3 assists already, and then he gets his goal tonight. But it's all about timing and making the right decisions. And when we talk about young players, it's almost, they're good at dribbling or they might score a good goal, but can you make the right pass at the right time? And we've talked about that.
Do you know what else is impressive about him? The pace of his passes. You know, the ball is that, the timing of it and the pace of it. Balls are so much easier to control when it's coming in with pace.
Yeah.
You know, and he's doing it.
Do you know what?
Just like that, and the weight of it and everything else is magnificent.
Oh, you know what's great about him? We're watching a young winger. For all young players, young wingers watching this, we all see Instagram clips about dribbling and skill step overs. This kid hasn't dribbled past anybody 1v1 in the first half today, but he's been the most impactful player on the pitch. Yeah. He set up 2 or 3 chances, one that should have been scored. But again, you get here, all he does here is move. He wants to move someone and shoot. He's not looking to do extravagant, elaborate skills. It's about impacting the game in one way, shape or form.
See, like that, you know, it's the right way to pass, it's the right side for the forward, or he gets a whack, but it's the right and the correct ball.
I just hope he stays on the pitch, because it's well past his bedtime.
Yeah.
You talked about the French press, but it's more the French beating the Spanish press that is a danger to Spain, really.
Yeah, we spoke about Spain, how well they press, and if they do push the pitch on one side, really try and suffocate the area where the ball is, which is understandable, and they've been really successful at doing it. But they did come here again. Look at that, get away from the press, and there's opportunities. It's just the final ball. We're talking about class of Yamal in that pass. France haven't really found that other than a one killing Mbappe moment. But here again, you see They're all on one side. The red shirts go over there. Hernandez is the opposite side. It's a fantastic ball. Opens the pitch up. And then it's about decision making. Then it's about timing, getting people in the right areas and being decisive in these moments. And I don't know where that would have finished if that had gone on site.
Might well have gone